Hello, I'm going to show you this very simple tree tutorial. With this, I'm just going to be using Mars Black Titanium White, and I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch angled brush, a 0 liner brush, and a number 8 flat brush. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on the basic location of the trees, how I want them. So I'm just going to bring my lines up there. Then I'll have a tree coming down this way. And then I want another small tree coming up this way. And that's about all the sketching I'm going to do. I do know I want a branch coming off this way, and then a smaller branch this way. So that can all be adjusted as I paint. So I'm going to take my 1/2 inch angle brush, wet it in my jar, load up with some Mars Black, and just start filling this in. And remember, with the angle brush, the lighter the pressure, the finer line you will get. And don't worry about drawing a straight line. These are trees. They're going to have humps and bumps. And then just come back in and just fill that in with Mars Black. And if you go outside the lines, don't worry about it. We can always, like I did right there, we can add a branch to cover that up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up with some more Mars Black. Come in here to draw the branches, heavier pressure to make it wider, lighten your pressure as you go out to get a nice point. Again, I'm going to do that up here at the top. Lighten my pressure. Start out here with very light pressure, and as I bring it towards me, put more pressure on it until I connect to the tree. Go ahead and do this other tree over here. Don't worry about overlapping the two trees. We'll define them when we start doing the highlights. Fill that in. And I know that just looks like a big black X right now, but when we start adding the white, we can define which tree is in front, which is in back, and shape the overall directionality of the trees. Now let's go back in. Maybe add a little branch over here. Maybe another one coming up this way. We'll do one here. Lightening my pressure as I go out. And that little jump right there, I'll fix that with the liner brush. And over here we'll add a branch coming out this way. And we'll do another branch right here. Okay, I want to wash off my angle brush, because I will be finished with that one now. Next thing I want to do is take my long liner brush, and I want to wet this in my jar. And I do not want to rake off the extra water. I need the water on this brush. So what we're going to do, just shake it off a little bit. Come in here, pull out some paint, mix that water really well with the paint, because you want this paint to be really fluid. And then with this, you just want to use light strokes and let the brush kind of do what it wants to do. The lighter the pressure, the thinner the line. I didn't get enough water in my brush. Remember, when you're putting it in the paint, roll it to keep that fine tip. We can come back here and fix this branch right here. Maybe add a little arm. Just go back and get more water as you need it. Keep that brush good and damp. Roll it in the paint. And let's fix this spot right here that we messed up on. And then have a little branch come out there. Okay. And just keep adding these little branches until you have as many as you desire. Go in different directions. And let's go up here, create a branch, and I'm going to go off of this one here. More water. Fix this one right here a little bit. Now with the liner brush you can make bigger branches, just it's all in the pressure. So for instance, if I'm going to come off of this one, I'll start with heavier pressure to lay a wider line and start lifting the pressure up to get that fine line. So just play around with the pressure just to get the desired line that you're looking for. And let's see here. Line kind of broke just a little bit, so I'll get a little bit more water. Go ahead and touch that up. Now this last branch here needs a few little twigs coming off of it. Okay. Alright. Wash off my liner brush. I'm done with that. Now for the highlights, you're going to want this to be completely dry. So I'm going to switch this canvas out with one that I've already painted just the Mars Black on. Now I'm going to take my number 8 flat brush. This brush you want dry, and if you have wet it, just dry it off in a paper towel as much as possible because you want it as dry as can be. Now with the white, I have actually put out a lot more than what we're going to need to use. So I'm just going to come into this white, pull out a little bit, flip my brush over, and kind of dab off the extra paint. It's better to start with just a little paint and add more later. So let's start here with the trunk of this big tree. I'm going to start here at the edge, just super light pressure, and just start bringing the white in. Now if you curve your lines a little bit, like so, like a little U-type shape, you're going to give some directionality, and it's going to show that your tree is rounded. Flip my brush over, get some more paint, and make the lines different lengths. Come all the way to the middle. Grab a little bit more white, and I'm going to come over here on this other side and do the exact same thing, just go in the opposite direction. And then here in the middle, I'm just got a little bit too much white there. I'm just going to kind of dust some across. And get a little bit more white. Now here where these two trees combine, try to follow the trunk of the big tree. And what this is going to do, this is going to say this tree is on top of the other one, or in front of the other one. So see, just that little bit of white paint has made that tree stand out from the other one. And it has gotten to where it's two separate trees now. And then I'm just going to continue this. And right here, I don't know if you can see it, but I missed my line a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just take my white out to the edge of that line that I should have painted on and make it into the tree. And if you want to, take your brush, go on the tip of the brush, and just kind of tap lines across there, and it'll give some little distinction of bark lines. And if you don't like it, you can either just get your Mars Black and paint over it and start again, or just kind of dust them out with a few brighter spots. Now with the branches, load up on a little bit of white paint, and we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to come down from the top. And I'm going to follow this branch all the way out. Then I'm going to come back and come up a little bit from the bottom, just to insinuate that there's a little bit of light wrapping all the way around these thinner branches. Now on these that are too narrow to do those strokes, what I do is I just kind of load up on my paint and just faintly trace the top edge of the branches. Some of these you're going to pretty much cover all in white, which is fine. They're narrow. They probably would be soaked in more light. Okay, like so. Alright. Go ahead and catch this branch up here. And you can actually use these highlights to reshape your branches a little bit if you want to. If you've made a little bump that you don't like, just kind of go to the edge of where you want the tree and start your white and come inward, and that'll help reshape your tree just a little bit. So I'm going to continue on this branch right here. Sorry, I had to move the canvas a little bit. I'm not quite a contortionist. And I got a little bit too much white. So I may come back with a little bit of black and dust over that, just to get rid of some of that bright white. Dust these branches just a little bit. Just to give them some definition. Just light pressure. Heavy pressure to lay down paint, light pressure just to dust it in, like so. Actually, I'll probably come back through here with a little bit of black and dust it in, because that tree branch is awfully white. And before I get more paint, I'm going to touch up some of these small branches, because I don't want them overly saturated with the white. Okay, get a little bit more white. Now on this angled tree, you want to do the same thing. Just start at the edge and pull your way to the middle. Shorter strokes, longer strokes. Do spots of a little bit more heavier paint. And stop where your two trees meet. Come back and do this other side. Like so. Get a little bit more paint. And then skip where that other trunk is, come just below it, and start again. Again, doing different length strokes. Sometimes coming all the way to the middle, sometimes not. But always remembering to keep that kind of curved feel. Some of your brush strokes can be straight across, some of them can be curved, but the curved definition really helps define the tree. And let's get this branch right here. Lighter on the top. And then a little bit on the bottom. And then here. Can't do that, so we're just going to dust the white all over. And let's do this other tree over here. Laid down too much white that time. picking up a little bit of white each time. Some brighter areas, I don't mind. Just helps give some definition to the tree. Smooth this all the way across. And do this last little branch right here. Just dust a little bit of this on the bottom. Alright, and there you are. There's a simple tree tutorial. Just let that dry, and if there's spots you don't like, just come back with your Mars Black, paint over it, let that dry, and start again. This is a very simple tutorial, and feel free, you can mix it up with the colors, shadings, so have fun with it and enjoy.